This week, Nintendo decided to release images from the Legend of Zelda movie. Now, last week on Friday, when I talked about those images that were leaked online and circulating the internet like crazy, I said Nintendo should have got ahead of this with some images. But here's what I think actually happened before I get into reviewing these images. I think Nintendo wanted to be on location to get the images that they did. I think the images were always going to come out this Monday because they knew that, well, we're shooting, we're out in the open. It's going to be very hard to keep this thing under wraps. So they try to do some stuff deep within the forest and the hillsides and all of that, and they still got caught up. And so those little video clips and images started floating around during the weekend, and by the time that they got the official imagery up, it was already too late. But not really, because the images that we did have, while cool, while they included another character, weren't as detailed and as good as these images. So right off the bat, I want to start like this with Miyamoto's words before I even get into anything else. He says filming is underway for the live action film, The Legend of Zelda, in a lush, natural setting, with Bo Braxton's son, who will play Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth's son, who will play Link. Filming is on track for the film's release on May 7th, 2027. It will take a while until the release, so we would be grateful if you would wait patiently and look forward to it. Oh, we waiting. We patient, and we damn sure looking forward to it. So, my impressions of the imagery. How else can you say 10 out of 10? Nothing else needs to really be said. When you talk about live action Zelda movies, or whenever I even talked about live action Zelda movies, for the years and years that I've been creating content, I've always said Lord of the Rings, New Zealand. That's where you want to live in when you think about a Zelda movie. I'm not saying be exactly those movies because they're two completely different IPs, but the texture, the feel, the care, the setting, you know, as much as New Zealand was Middle Earth, we always looked at it and said, man, that could be a great Hyrule too. And while there's many places around the world, we just had this motion picture trilogy that was completely iconic, one of the greatest things ever made. And if you love anything fantasy, you probably made a comparison that, oh, this thing that I love being made into live action, whether it was a cartoon, a comic book, a manga, an anime, or you're going to take and make it live action, well, it got to be like, Lord of the Rings, done like Lord of the Rings with that kind of care from, you know, costume designs to the location. And then obviously we need to wait and see for story, directing, editing, visuals and all of that. What are these bokoblins going to look like filling out, these beautiful lush green areas? We have to wait and see. Now, to get a little bit more into detail, Link looking like Twilight Princess Link, great move. I'm glad that he's in the green tunic, that they didn't go with the blue like Breath of the Wild. But he doesn't have his little cap, his Kokiri cap, his Peter Pan cap. The cap that I said they probably wouldn't do because they don't want him to be confused with Peter Pan if they ever did it live action. I said this my whole life. And now that we have these official images and I see Link without the cap, it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, he looked great without the cap in Breath of the Wild. Hell, there was times in Breath of the Wild where I actually played with Link just like that because I was like, I want the hair out and all that, but I got the green tunic on still. And you might have seen gameplay like that on the channel. Why? Because I've always thought this was a cool look. So I'm perfectly fine with it. If he has a hood that he throws over himself, cool. That represents the hood from Breath of the Wild, or it can represent the cap and everything. Cool. If it's like a green hoodie, you can see it something over his shoulder right there. So who knows? But them giving Zelda the blue, we've seen Zelda in blue plenty of times, but this is far more reminiscent of the way she looks in Breath of the Wild. I love it. I love the details of both of their outfits being worn, not looking super pristine, like, oh yeah, it just came off a assembly line for this movie, and it's super clean. No, it looks dirty. It looked like all these clothes look like it'd been on an adventure previously. And I love the details of the little Triforces, the symbol of Hyrule, of like the Hyrule crest and all that I saw on the horse and all of that, and that's in the leak stuff. But yeah, they're leaning into everything we love from the imagery, the symbolism and everything is going to be there. Obviously, power, courage, and wisdom. I think this movie will definitely start with Ocarina of Time vibes, where you see in the damn, power, wisdom, the goddesses forming the Triforce in the sky. They could probably pull something off like that in the movie, and it'll be cool way. Like it'll just be a cool way to introduce people to what exactly it is that we're fighting for, why, and things like that. But anyway, I think it looks amazing. I think Zelda ears look awesome. You know what I'm saying? I think that they look exactly the way I said they would when I talked about it a few weeks ago. I said, listen, they're going to be at most the 17-year-old version of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Link never has been older than that. I don't think we're getting young Link, and this does not look like young Link. This looks like the Link from Breath of the Wild, the Link from Twilight Princess, the Link from Ocarina of Time, that 17 to 18-year-old Link. Zelda, same thing. This looks like the max level of maturity we've seen Zelda portrayed as in the Zelda game. You might feel like, oh, in Twilight Princess, she felt like she was a little bit older than this. Yeah, she felt a little bit more weathered, like she'd been through some things in Twilight Princess for sure. You know what I'm saying? She was, well, Zelda's always trapped and kept up somewhere in some dungeon or flying around somewhere. Yeah, I think that they did a fantastic job with the casting of both. And I felt like, yeah, this casting for Link, I thought, yeah, this is going to work amazing. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Benjamin, he had the look. Seeing him here with the hair, I don't know if it's a wig or not, if it's actually hair dyed. It really don't matter to me because it just looks great. You know what I'm saying? He looks like Link. He looks exactly like you would want Link to look like. Looking at that image of him as Link, I think it's the best we could have ever asked for a live action. I mean, I look at it like this, and I think I could speak for everyone when I say, as Zelda fans, we were prepared to see the live action Link and have to train our eyes and minds that this is the depiction of this, cartoon video game, always in a very animated style character, with this very pristine elf look to him. And we got to accept, all right, this actor is that guy. Even though it doesn't look like him, hopefully the acting will come through, the sense of courage and all of that. And we'll accept this act and be like, that's Link in live action. That's Link the way he speaks, the way he talks in live action, because those are things that he has to do in live action. And we got basically the complete opposite of that, which is that looks like if you told AI, make Link live action, and well, there you go. That's what this looks like to me. And that's awesome. That is fantastic. That's better than I could have ever dreamed of. Nah, to be genuinely honest, like looking at the portrayal with the costume on and everything, you can feel the sense of courage, the heroism in them and all that. Like it's Link. And looking at this, if you didn't know what this was, you would instantly know, okay, yeah, what the hell is this? What is this, a wannabe Zelda? If you didn't know, like, oh, this is a Zelda movie, you would think, like, yo, that looks like straight up Zelda. Yeah, because it literally looks like the games. It looks perfect. She looks perfect as Zelda. He looks perfect as Link. The setting looks perfect as Hyrule. And even the lead character looks perfect as that character. So, yeah, all around, now we just got to hope that it's a great movie. That it's great, just like Maze Runners 1, 2, and 3 were great, and the last Planet of the Apes movie, continues the track record, and we get a Zelda movie that lives up to the quality of the games, And I don't know where they're gonna go with this, because I look at the Twilight Princess as Tunic, I look at the Breath of the Wild as get up for Zelda, and I see her with her arrows. They're not light arrows, but poetry. First you see her with regular arrows. By maybe the end of, if it's a trilogy, you'll see her with some light arrows going God mode on the giant pig. Awesome, right? And we'll speak on that pig in a second. But Link, you don't see the Master Sword or anything like that. You got to save some stuff. Because I think the first teaser is going to be like the Master Sword in the grass. I'm sure they already got it somewhere, and they already filmed that part so that they could put that in front of Mario come, April. That's right around the corner. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the first, like, actual imagery. But the clothes, it's like they actually brought the game close to life too. As good as they look as the characters, the clothes looks as good as the clothes in the game. It's almost like they made this clothes first, and then they scanned it into Twilight Princess, and then they just pulled this clothes out from back in 2005, probably when they would have originally, made it before the game came out in 2006. And it's like, yeah, he's actually wearing the clothes that we use in order to design the game, because that's how on point it all looks. So I'm assuming the Master Sword is going to be on point. I don't think they're going to go with a box sword of Zelda 1 or Zelda 2 style Master Sword. I think they'll go with the classic blue, Fee style Master Sword, which I would hope, because it'll match Zelda's outfit and everything. But Zelda having her bows and everything, letting us know that she's going to be a sick archer, that's awesome. Yo, we don't see the shield. We don't see Link's sword. We don't know if he has to collect those. Probably, which wouldn't be bad at all. I've seen some people, because of course, if you don't have the hat on, it's not Link. It's not done right. It's not perfect. And it's like, maybe he'll have it on in the scene. I want him to say, "Excuse me, princess." I've been saying this for years. Because the only live action, well, animated, basically cinematic depiction of Zelda we've ever had outside of the games now that are very cinematic, it was always the cartoon. And, "Excuse me, princess," was his main line. So, yeah, if he even said it like just even in a serious manner, just like, "Excuse me, princess," I would get the joke, and that'll be enough. But I want that in there. We all want our little things in there, but I don't think if he don't say that, oh, it's the end of the world. No, that's just for me as a geek, to be like, yo, I want to hear that just as a callback to this thing that I've watched my entire life, because it's the only cinematic Zelda thing I've had, And when it comes to the hat, it's like, yeah, he could have it, he could not have it. I'm cool with it, you know. I just definitely, and again, the Master Sword too. He could not have the Master Sword in the first movie. I'm perfectly fine with this movie ending with them finding the Master Sword. I don't need this thing to rush. I don't need all the beats hit in this movie. And that's what I wanted to say about the different clothes. It's like, I don't know what Zelda games are going to be, splashed into this one narrative. Like, it feels like they're taking Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, everything. They'll probably take everything, Skyward Sword, and just say, you know what? Here you go, Zelda 1, some Zelda 2 music, Nintendo, please. But anyway, yeah, just throw everything in and make like one genuinely cool story. I'm good with that. I'm hoping that there is a Ganondorf in this movie. But if there's not, if they just go full-blown Ganon, that's fine. Because I've already looked beyond this movie and beyond this cast. People need to get comfortable. I even threw it out there that Nintendo should have cast other Links and Zeldas. Other actual known actors who were in this age demographic. Not to give them their own movies, but almost to do like what Marvel did with the multiverse. It's like, look, this is your Mr. Fantastic in a feature film, but you got one also in Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? And they did two different things just to show you, like, yeah, this universe exists. And they showed you Human Torch in Marvel's, Wolverine Deadpool movie. They showed you Human Torch in that, right? And that was even the actor that played one of the most famous superheroes in the whole damn thing, like the superhero of the whole damn story, and it was fine. But the reason why I say cast other actors is if you ever wanted to do like the very deep introduction, like you look at Lord of the Rings introduction when they showed you everything, the 9 rings, man takes the 9 rings, they showed you the war between the elves and Mordor and all of that, in the fall of Sauron, and the ring get found and all that. They show you all of that before we ever get to the Shire and the movie finally start with what's going to become the Fellowship and everything beyond. This movie could easily start showing you like different timelines. And look, this was a link, that was a link, some links fell, whatever, and just show you different versions of it. So the audience gets comfortable knowing like, oh, these people are reincarnated. So by the time they finish this trilogy and they recast the next movie, the audience is fine with it because they expect, oh, this is a reincarnation of them. It's what the movie originally teased, the original trilogy, that there was others, beyond these two, and prior to these two. And that's how you get the audience comfortable with the eventual keeping these characters at this age and continuing the story. And it's not like a reboot, but it's just like, yeah, this is a trilogy of that Link and that Zelda. Now we're moving on to this trilogy. Continuing the story. There could be links between all of them. Like, for example, Ganondorf. He could be the only actor that actually plays throughout multiple trilogies. Let's say that Ganondorf actor plays it like Wolverine, for 20 years. And so he's the constant, the bridge, you'll say, between each of the movies. The connection, the link between them all. I think that'll be a genius way to go about it. These are the strategies, the things that I've thought about my entire life thinking about a Zelda movie, how you will go about it, what are the most important things to do in order to future-proof yourself. Because movies, people could get attached to this kid as Link, and they could get attached to her as Zelda, and be like, nah, we just want Thumb. And it's like, you got to understand, they're already done. As soon as they got these roles, it's a wrap. You may as well start passing the torch already, because that's what's going to happen if it's done right. If we get the Zelda movies we want, that we love, that's what needs to happen. Not saying these two actors can't come back and they could tell a future movie after the fact. Like they do a whole nother trilogy, maybe an even younger group, more Wind Waker-y, right? Oh, Hyrule Flooded. I know, they're going to be like, yo, Aquaman, man. Like, not Aquaman, Waterworld. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aquaman, the first one was successful, but Waterworld was a crazy bomb. We don't want to deal with water. But then I'd be like, yo, but Avatar, way of water. What are you talking about? You could do it. But anyway, they do a Wind Waker trilogy, right? And then they throw everything in that Wind Waker trilogy. Spirit Tracks. They throw in, Zelda's whole becoming a phantom. That's basically her dying. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And Spirit Tracks, throw in that whole Wind Waker story. And then when you come back, be like, we're going to tell an older Link and Zelda story. And, or even have this character come back and he could play like the knight from Twilight Princess. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be the actor more zombified. And it's like, yo, it's Benjamin from the original trilogy. Yo, that's Link. That's crazy. Teaching the new Link new techniques. There's so much they could do with stuff like that. But I feel like they definitely should do something to get the audience comfortable knowing that this ain't going to be your Link and Zelda forever. Don't get too comfortable. Like at max, these guys got 5 years. And then they're going to age out. And then they're going to be like, all right, we got to go back and reset the whole thing. You know what I mean? I almost feel like they could have did these movies as a trilogy back to back to back. But I get why they're doing one at a time. But if this hit, I'll do the other ones 1 and 2, wrap that up, start casting new characters. They be like, yeah, new Link and new Zelda. They be like, new Emperor. They be like, yo, that's crazy. They're like, yeah, but that's the way it goes. And us as fans of the games will understand. I hope. It's hard to know what the audience is going to be okay with nowadays. Because I don't know. There were some people saying, yeah, I mean, if you took off the name Zelda from the press release and just put out these images, no one will know. No one would have known this was a Zelda movie. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, people just say anything. It got to be just for engagement. Because it's like, bro, that is the most Link-looking Link I've ever seen. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's 10 out of 10 casting. And that's before he even opened his mouth. We're just going based off the imagery. You know what I'm saying? We got no animation. We got no cinematography, really. No camera movement, no epic shots, no music, no things setting up scenes, nothing. I'm just going based off this image. Again, the guy hasn't opened his mouth, which is iconic for Link. Because Link, well, he's always quiet. He never speaks. So all of that is going to be a moment. I can't wait for all of that. But yeah, like this is perfect to me. Like there's not much to say. The fact that I've already talked about this for this long is wild to me because there's not much to say. And a lot of the stuff I talked about how the movie should go, y'all have heard me talk about this in the past multiple times because, well, it hasn't changed. I feel like that's a smart way to go about it. But yeah, that's Zelda for you. I'm excited. I don't really want to ask what you think because if you love Zelda, I know you're in love with the images we got. We're just all just crossing our fingers hoping that the movie lives up now to these images because this is more than a dream come true. This is more than we could have asked for, I feel. Like, this is special. And the fact that they are making a movie in New Zealand, like, a lot of us, after we watch Lord of the Rings, only could dream of, hope for. Bro, it feels like we're winning a lot with this movie right now. Things are looking really good for this movie. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. And even though I'm sure you are, let me know what's your favorite thing about these images in the actual comments. And let me know if him not having his hat ruins the whole thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because... yeah, that's not for me personally. But anyway, I could have talked about Zelda's pendant, but I don't think that's really anything. I could have talked about, Zelda's little pouch right there. It looks like she has a pouch with it. Like it could have been like carrying an ocarina or a Sheikah slate or something like that. But again, it's not enough to go on right now. And yeah, it's cool speculation. But right now, I think I'm just happy with the images. I love the fact that image of Link and Zelda together kind of invokes that image of Breath of the Wild. I think it's Breath of the Wild, not Twilight Princess. Not Twilight Princess. Tears of the Kingdom. It's Breath of the Wild where they're like in the field, just and Zelda is standing up, if I'm not mistaken, like pointing, or she's sitting down and Link is standing up. It's something like that. But yeah, it just reminds me of that image. Y'all know the one, I'm sure. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this discussion about these Zelda images. I'm just excited for the trailer. That can't come soon enough. And I'm not even talking about the teaser trailer. Because I think the teaser trailer for a Zelda movie, oh my God, that's going to be a teaser trailer. Like, super teaser. But yeah, I can't wait for the first trailer that gives us a real example of what this is going to look like. And maybe, look, maybe we don't even got to wait. I'll say this before I wrap this up. Maybe we don't even got to wait till April and Mario. Maybe they'll drop a trailer during the Super Bowl. Maybe they'll be that confident in this thing that they're like, you know what, let's spend the money, let's put this in front of people's face so they know what's coming in 2027. I mean, they could do that, or they could wait to actually do it in the 2027 Super Bowl. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to be seeing this movie animate, beyond these images very, very soon. And I can't wait for that at all. Hell, while we're on the topic of movies being teased with other movies, I'm going to predict this too. Yeah, I predict Mario Galaxy to include a teaser trailer for the Zelda movie. I don't think that's a crazy prediction. Nintendo Pictures is going to want to promote their next picture with their upcoming biggest picture. It just makes sense. But I'm going to go as far as to say, I predict, and y'all can hold me to this, I predict that when you go watch Mario Galaxy in theaters, you will see a teaser trailer to The Legend of Zelda, but you'll also get a teaser for the upcoming animated Nintendo movie. Not Mario Galaxy, obviously. You're sitting down to watch Mario Galaxy. I'm talking about the next movie, be it Donkey Kong finally getting his own movie after Mario, original movie and Donkey Kong playing a big part in that. Maybe they started working on this spinoff a while ago, and that's the thing. Or maybe it'll just be Inkling jumping out of ink and them announcing 2020, 2028 for a Splatoon movie or something like that. I do believe that we're going to see a teaser to the next animated Nintendo movie in front of, the Mario movie. And I know that seems weird, but it could probably happen before, the Mario movie is actually revealed, where they announce, the next thing we're working on is this thing, and they put out a little teaser online, and then they can just put that in front of the Mario movie. Either way, however they do that, I do believe that alongside the teaser trailer for the Legend of Zelda movie, there'll be another Nintendo IP, super duper 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 teaser trailer, even more teaser of a trailer than the Zelda trailer. Remember, this is animated, not live action. So while Zelda, they just started filming, they won't have much to work with. Who knows what they'll have for this animated IP that will be getting a feature film treatment from Nintendo. It could be a larger teaser than the one for Zelda. But yeah, I'm just gonna predict that they're gonna have something else already ready to be teased and to get us hyped, for beyond 2027. Hell, this movie could be for 2027 alongside Zelda. And it'll be the first year when Nintendo Pictures has two movies coming out in the same year. But I'm going to just guess 2028. So you get a teaser with Mario, full trailer with the Zelda movie in 2027, and then this thing comes out 2028. What it'll be, I don't know. But I predict that we will be seeing something else, teased in 2026 when it comes to Nintendo's cinematic endeavors. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Legend of Zelda movie. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.